Welcome to South Asia Times,
Thank
and
you.
I'm Neeraj Nanda,
Hi,
and
Neeraj.
I've been journalist for now 40th year, and so
Awesome. Really.
so I'm happy you are with us. And my first question is, Leena, uh, you tell us about this channel, because we need our viewers need to know about it.
So basically, the channel Sony Ye is the only kids channel from the Sony Pictures Network's stable of linear pay TV channels in India. So if you
Uh-huh.
were there in the 90s, late 90s, you would know that Sony Corp came into India to establish and set their television broadcast
That's
business.
true. Yeah,
And
yeah,
in 95, they launched SET, that Sony Entertainment Television. So
yeah,
from 95 till now, the journey has been to grow and extrapolate and make have different genre of channels for India and the subcontinent
uh-huh.
continent.
Yeah,
And Sony Ye was the only missing piece in this whole genre mix. It did not have a kids play at all, unlike
yeah,
the rest of the network bouquets in India. And therefore, it was very important to kind of reach out to the audiences with a holistic bundle of channels across all genres. So when
yeah,
the
yeah,
cable operators go into each and every household, the bundle usually consists of a general entertainment channel, a music channel, sports channel, extra XYZ. But kids was the only missing piece from the Sony stable. So we decided to kind of launch an indigenous a linear pay TV channel in India.
uh-huh.
And that's the birth of Sony A in 2017. And
Hmm.
from then till now, it has been a very challenging journey because the kids channels in India enjoyed a life of over 12 years at least before we launched, and all of them were very dominant in their respective rankings. Like you had a Nickelodeon, a Cartoon Network, a Pogo, Sonic, all of them, Disney Channel, Hangama, all of them had their own distinguishing USPs. So we had to do something really, really out of the box to shake this category up, shake this genre up. And the only thing that we knew is that we don't have the paucity of time. Therefore, we need to come up in the rankings as fast as possible and establish ourselves,
Yeah,
because it's already a matured category. And as and when the generations keep shrinking, the kind of programs they want to also view are very different
yeah,
from what the earlier generation saw. So we had
absolutely.
to give them something very novel, something very different, which was not there on the rest of the pay TV platforms. And that's when our research, we did a complete length and breadth of the country, kind of a dipstick, and gathered really valuable insights on who our
Ji.
potential consumers are. And what came out of it is that there was a need gap, uh, you know, uh, pertaining at that point in time, of showing Indian shows, of getting Indian animated shows across to our audiences, because a lot of content was coming from the international market and they were dubbing it, and therefore, that was what was widely viewed by the kids. So we started and launched our channel in April 2017 with a promise that it's going to be only of Indian programming, Indian characters, Indian stories, and
Ji.
Indian language that reaches out to even the smallest village. And the kid can get to see his cartoon and get to hear him speak in the language that he speaks at home, and not any other language, right? So we came with 4 5 shows, which were the stories and the plots and everything was done in house by us. We collaborated with animation studios in India.
Tell me, sorry to interrupt you.
No problem.
Leena, tell me what is the focus of the channel? Because like in my childhood, there used to be only Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck
Yes.
imported from America, and there was a Children's Film Society of India, uh,
Yeah.
which
True.
had movies in Sapru House, New Delhi, and we used to go to see there. My mom used to take me there. So, what
Right.
is your focus now? on
So
the
for our
40s, what is the
channel,
subject? I mean, content.
yeah, absolutely. So what one of the other things that our research actually threw to us was that today's kid is so bogged down with a whole lot of uh, competitiveness in today's world because of education. Parents want them to be right on top of their grades, and therefore they not only have to perform well in school, but they have to pad that up with extracurricular tuitions and blah 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 and all of those things. So it's a
Hmm.
pressure environment for the child, right? I mean, from the time he wakes up in the morning to go to school till the time he comes back, he just has this 2 hour break where he can just have a snack and watch his television and then get back into the routine of tuitions, of going for football classes, of going for cricket classes, or whatever extracurricular activities are, till he comes
Yeah.
back home, finishes off the homework, and falls asleep. So that 2 hour in the afternoon when he comes back from school was critical time for us to actually make sure that our programming gives him that relief. So our content philosophy has been that make content which is in the comedy space, so that it's not heavy on the guy or a girl who comes to see and tunes into our channel. So
Okay,
it's
Leena,
fun.
you said that you were trying for Indian content.
Yes.
So what do you mean by Indian content?
So we have characters which are Indian in nature, like a show of ours which we launched in the first year was called Guru Bhole, which were
Hmm.
inspired from the movie Padosan of Guru and Bhole. One
Yeah.
was a brawny guy, one was the brainy guy. But
uh,
through the stories and through the animation stories, what we weaved the entire messaging to the children was about friendship. How friendship is very important in your own personal growth, and the storytelling was done in a funny way. Likewise, was another show called Papometer, which was
uh-huh.
about these booths, these ghosts who are residing up over there in their world, and they see small little paps or ill things happening to children, like
Yeah.
somebody in the cream biscuit has vanished off the cream from the cream biscuit, so these ghosts come down to earth
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
reprimand the person who
Good.
has done that, right?
Yeah.
So there
Yeah.
is a sort of a subliminal messaging in each of our stories, but with the backdrop of humor and comedy. We don't, in fact, spell out the teaching or the learning or the seek, as we call it in Hindi, outright, right? It's always weaved into the storyline with a very funny take on either the characters or take through slapstick comedy or through dialogues or things like that.
Yeah.
Just recently, I don't know whether you know of the long running show on our sister channel Sub TV called Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma. I don't know
I
if you
know.
know
I
about
know
it.
about it. I know about it.
Yes, so we've made that show into an animated show, and we have
Oh,
turned the
that's
entire
good. Really good.
lens from Tappu's angle. So it is Tappu, the small boy, and the mother Daya, and how they themselves, through light moments, through the narrative, talk about family values. So that's basically the content and the fabric of all our shows. They are Indian stories dubbed in Indian languages. So we have 8 languages that our content reaches out to across the length and breadth of India.
Yeah.
And they are stories and characters that every Indian kid actually connects with.
Yeah. And that's pretty good. And I have one question. Do you have anything on science and technology? Because kids need to know from very start.
So, like I said, our channel is not into an education zone at all of spelling things out literally and informing kids out literally. So, we
Okay.
have science and technology weaved in a very, very, subconscious way through one of our shows, which is in Kiko and Super Speedo. So,
Yes.
Kiko is a character, he's a boy. His best friend is a super speedo car.
Yeah.
It is a car which is a machine which has got all the technical aspects of what a smart car should be. And through the friendship and the hardships that both Kiko and Super Speedo face in their everyday life,
Very good.
the science is kind of sort of imparted.
Yeah, Esha. So,
Yeah.
I also understand that um, this your kids channel uh, is now moving is more entertainment based. So
It is only entertainment
what do we
based, yeah.
mean by that? What do we mean by that? And is it is going to become for everyone or just for children now?
No, it is for children only.
Hmm.
The way it works in India is that when you take a television channel license, you have to define the license that it's a kids channel or it's a music channel, and therefore
Okay,
there are
okay.
only certain programs that you can play on them. So
Mm-hmm.
this is a kids channel. It is an entertainment channel because it is not educational. So by default we have stories that are entertaining in itself. And right now we are catering, within the kids segment, we are catering to even smaller kids who are in the age group of 3 to 6, through preschool shows, through 6 to 10 age group, through our entertainment shows, and little older kids who are still kids and not gone into the teenage world as
Mm-hmm.
yet, through
Yeah,
different sort of shows in our night band, which are
yeah.
more of Japanese anime kind of shows. So we have a full flavor and a full blend of entertainment shows across for each and every age demo within the overall kids demo.
Okay, okay. So what's meant by enemy?
The Japanese
ANIME.
ME, yeah, it's basically a
ME.
style of animation. It's a style of animation originating out of Japan.
Hmm.
It's called Japanese. It's the cartoons of Japan are called anime.
So is it different from Indian style
Very
animation?
different. Very different. Their style of animation production is very, very different from the way we animate cartoons and animate shows in India.
Hmm. So because I was actually excited about this Japanese thing, so are they culturally relevant for India? I mean,
Of course they are, because their stories have are culturally also pretty similar. Asian stories have got this traditional, this weave, backdrop of either family dramas or certain ethnicities which have certain core values which
G, G.
are not necessarily confined to that geography, and they travel. So from a storytelling perspective, stories originating out of Japan, out of Southeast Asia, are very, very culturally also relevant for kids in India.
Will they be in Indian languages? This Japanese stuff in Indian
Yeah,
languages?
we take the product from Japan, we take the shows from Japan, and we dub it in our 8 languages,
Oh, that's pretty
and we
good. Yes.
telecast. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, because these days everything done on computers, and I suspect animation also made on computers. Uh,
yeah.
I am no expert, but ho- these days there's a talk of artificial intelligence. Recently, we had an Indian Film Festival in Melbourne, and I asked every producer about it, and I'm also asking you. So, how much do you use artificial intelligence? Maybe whatever form it is, multimedia, whatever it is.
So right now, the AI revolution hasn't touched our animation industry in India as yet. We are
Oh,
still
good. Okay.
working in the form of a traditional art form, wherein there is a story that goes into pre-production, then the animation happens on various tools. They are not AI tools. They are regular, traditional animation software tools, and the
Yeah.
animation output comes from there. Where for us, AI can prove to be of merit is when we take shows like the Japanese shows in Japanese language, and we
Yes.
want to quickly dub them in 8 languages.
Yeah.
So those enhancement tools will make a big difference. It saves us time, it saves us, the whole intricacies of detailed translations and things like that. But from an animation production perspective, right now, we're not actively looking at transforming the industry, because we know once we begin on that path, it could be detrimental for for also people working, because it's a very physically intensive, manual intensive industry, right? There are people who are
I
sitting
know.
on computers with their software and working out one animation angle per minute. So it requires a lot and lot of intensive work.
It's quite a hard work, you know. And
Yes,
in the
yes.
earlier time, people used to make it on plain paper with hand, and
Hand
then
drawn, yes. Hand
hand
drawn,
drawn.
yes. Yes,
So okay,
that's true.
as one last question, Leena.
Sure.
Um, this your channel accessible where? Is it just for India or for anybody, any country?
It's predominantly India, but we've got our beams across Southeast Asia. We go and travel to Europe. We've got our footprint in US and even in Africa. So
Hmm.
it's available across. Yeah.
So what about Australia?
I'll take that up with my distribution team for sure.
I think there is the Indian diaspora here is very big and one of the fastest growing in the world. It would be more
Sure.
than America in a few years, and that's why I asked you this question.
No, relevant question. Thank you for that. But I'll take it up definitely. We'll check.
Thank you, Leena. Thank you very much for being with
Thank
South
you.
Asia Times. And
Thank
Neeraj
you,
Nanda
Neeraj.
personally thanks you for
Thank you,
being
Neeraj.
talking to us. Have a good
Take
day.
care. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.